Title: Aya of the 13th Dynasty, sovereign strength in a fractured Egypt peace in the Middle Kingdom of Egypt, once stabilized under the powerful reigns of Senusret III and Amenemhat III, began to fracture after their deaths. Power dynamics shifted, succession lines blurred, and the once unified land of Kemet fell into political disarray. Amid this turbulence emerged Queen Aya, a royal wife of the early 13th Dynasty, whose legacy, though dimmed by the sands of time, represented resilience, adaptation, and the continuity of divine rule. Aya's time was not marked by monumental constructions or international conquests, but rather by the quiet fortitude of a queen navigating the complexities of a decentralized throne. This was a period when Egypt saw over 50 kings in under 150 years, proof of the instability that plagued the state. Yet Queen Aya's name endured, her titles recorded in the sacred script of hieroglyphs, Ia1II, bearing witness to a noble bloodline and the unwavering strength of a woman bound to divine kingship. The 13th Dynasty, a fractured legacy. The 13th Dynasty, circa 1803–1649 BCE, marked the slow decline of the Middle Kingdom and the rise of regional power centers. With the capital moving from Ichtawi, near El-Lisht, to Thebes, the centralized monarchy faltered. Kings ruled briefly, some for only months, while nomarchs, provincial governors, and military elites gained dominance. Unlike the stable 12th Dynasty, the 13th saw a growing reliance on viziers and royal wives to stabilize the court. This backdrop contextualizes Aya's influence. As a queen, she likely did not wield direct military authority or launch expeditions, but her presence within the palace and court network offered a critical thread of legitimacy. 2. Aya's origins and bloodline. Aya's precise lineage is not thoroughly documented, but scholars agree she belonged to the elite class, possibly tied by birth to a minor noble house or a provincial dynasty, loyal to the fading central authority. Her name, inscribed in hieroglyphs and noted in scarce artifacts, suggests continuity with traditional elite naming practices of the Middle Kingdom. Aya may have been the consort of King Sobekotep I or a similarly early 13th Dynasty ruler. And these kings, though ephemeral in reign, often secured their thrones through strategic marriages. Aya's elevation to queen was not ceremonial alone, it was political. Her marriage helped validate her husband's rule in a time where kings needed the support of regional powers. And titles and divine role. Aya's titles would have followed the standard epithets of queenship in the Middle Kingdom: king's wife, his beloved, and perhaps mistress of the two lands. These were not mere honorifics. In Egyptian theology, the queen embodied Hathor, the goddess of fertility, love, and royalty. She was the earthly counterpart to the king's divine Horus status. The role of the queen was deeply ritualistic. She participated in temple ceremonies, purification rites, and fertility blessings crucial to maintaining Ma'at, cosmic balance. Aya, even in a fractured political era, would have functioned as a religious anchor in her king's cult and ensured dynastic continuity through offspring or ceremonial surrogacy. Under court influence and domestic power, although the 13th Dynasty kings had short reigns, queens like Aya maintained continuity across transitions. Aya likely lived through the reigns of multiple kings, perhaps even outliving her husband. In such a scenario, she may have acted as a dowager queen, guiding young successors or mediating disputes among viziers and priesthoods. Egyptian records and tomb architecture of the time suggest that elite women managed estates, temple lands, and religious foundations. Aya would have controlled agricultural wealth, domestic staff, and possibly provincial garrisons. Her presence stabilized the palace when kings were overthrown or died suddenly, especially vital in a period when lineage was uncertain. 5. Religious patronage and Theban revival. Aya's probable residence near Thebes coincided with the religious revival of that region. Temples to Amun, Mut, and Montu were undergoing reformation as priestly clans vied for power. Aya likely funded or oversaw these initiatives, as part of her queenly duties. The 13th dynasty is also noted for expanding the cult of Sobek, the crocodile god. As queens were associated with fertility and regeneration, Aya's influence in Sobek temples in El Fayum and Komombo might have been critical. Her piety would have been both personal and political, invoking divine favor upon the crown. 6. Artistic depictions and legacy. Unlike the monumental queens of earlier dynasties, like Nefertiti or Sobekneferu, Aya's image does not survive in large statues or elaborate tomb reliefs. Her legacy survives in fragmentary stelae, seals, and inscriptions, particularly in Fayum and Abydos. These records show a refined script, indicating that even in decline, Egypt's elite upheld traditional scribal excellence. Aya's name being recorded in formal hieroglyphs, Aya1II, reveals her accepted status within the House of Life, the temple archive where priests preserved sacred names. This detail, small as it may seem, marks her as part of the official memory of the state, even as regimes collapsed around her. And queenship, in a time of chaos, Aya's reign as queen coincided with an Egypt that was slowly slipping from unity. Foreigners from the Levant, known later as the Hyksos, began infiltrating the delta. Nubian incursions increased in the south. The Middle Kingdom's authority was dissolving. In such a time, queenship was not a passive role. It was a pillar of continuity. The women of the 13th dynasty Aya was not alone. Other royal women, such as Senebanes, Nubotepti, and Kemenub, appear sporadically in the records of this dynasty. These women formed a network of priestess queens and estate managers, shaping religious and economic life in the absence of strong central kingship. In essence, the 13th dynasty was one where women, often from the inner court, wielded silent authority. Aya may have served as regent, advisor, or even protector of royal children. Her command of internal palace alliances ensured that at least some stability endured amidst chaos. Kindly click like, subscribe, and share this channel